Hello, I'm Sarah. Welcome back to another Adobe tutorial. Today I'm just going to give a tour of Adobe Fresco because I feel like a lot of digital artists overlook it and just go straight for Photoshop, but I would like to give Fresco some love. Um, so here's just the homepage of what you'll see right when you open Fresco. There's home and some tabs if you want more tutorials. Adobe has some at this section here for various things. If you're familiar with any Adobe products, you'll understand like there's brushes, masking, selections, layers. These will all be not new to you. But if you are new to Adobe things, Fresco is a great place to do beginner projects. Um, and if you're experienced, it's a good thing for quick projects. I use it for like small stuff a lot. But yeah. Then you just have your files. And then create new, import and stuff, and then you have the typical template sizes. The last thing I made was a 36 by 24, so I was making a poster. So it'll save like your last custom thing here. And then they have the typical square, horizontal, comic book, things like that. Comic book is an interesting one to put here. But yeah, I'm just gonna go for a square, because I make a lot of stuff for Instagram, so a square would be a go-to thing for me. Alright, and then right off the bat you have your layers look a little bit different than they do in most Adobe products. I know I'm used to the Illustrator Photoshop layout that has them in little bars down the screen on this side, but these are little boxes. This is the background, and then this is like the layer that I'm working in, and if I added um, a layer, which I think is here. Yeah, if I add a layer, it'll just stack on top in these like squares. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Hide all other layers. That's a useful button. Okay, we're gonna show that layer, and I'm just gonna delete that one because I don't need it. And then the biggest thing about Fresco that I think goes overlooked that should be appreciated is the different types of brushes. So we have pixel brushes, which work similar to Photoshop. If you don't know already, the main difference between Photoshop and Illustrator is that Photoshop works in bitmaps and Illustrator works in artboards. So a pixel brush is kind of more similar to the bitmap style, and then um, Live Brush, gonna be honest, I think they added that recently and I don't remember what it's for. But that's okay, I don't need to know everything. Vector brushes are what I wanted to point out though because they're useful if you're into making stickers or anything with a transparent background, because that is the more Illustrator side. Illustrator is normally used for vectors. So this is like your shortcut Illustrator versus your shortcut Photoshop. Vector brushes, I'll actually look it up because I don't want to leave y'all hanging. Um, Live brush, sorry. Yeah. Okay, so live brushes are meant to mimic a real life brush. Okay, that makes sense actually. So what you'll notice from the pixel brushes is they are more, I'm trying to find, yeah, see the hard round is like the standard Photoshop Illustrator brush, and that doesn't look, like it's not textured like a real paintbrush would be, whereas live brush, if the internet is correct, yeah, it's like watercolor and oil, so you'll get like these textured streaks. That's really cool. I'm using a mouse right now, but I bet if I was using a drawing tablet that had a pressure indicator on the pen, like this might be like sensitive to touch as well. That's really fun. Okay. I could just delete the layer, but I will clean it up just for you. Okay. And then I would like to see, I think I was using Was I using a pixel brush last time? Maybe it was live. I just want to show the pencil. Was I using vectors the whole time? Taper. Okay, yeah. And a fun thing to do is just play around with these different pen shapes because they see like the edges are different. Oh yeah, it's just on pencil now. What kind of pencil was I using last time? Was that just this one? Yeah. Okay. And then there's also these settings to change things that are common in Illustrator, Photoshop, and all that, like blend modes are useful. These are just some basic ones. Multiply, if you don't know, like if you're looking for different blend modes, try multiply first. Like that's most everybody's go-to for things like that. Yeah, but they're all pretty much the same ones you'll be familiar with. Pressure dynamics are good for the style. Yeah, see stylus pressure. You can set your pressures and stuff here. Velocity dynamics. Let's play around actually. Let's give a demo of what this looks like. So you've seen what this pressure looks like. We can make the size bigger. What if I make the flow super low? What does that look like? Not too much difference in what it looks like. It's more in the feel of it, but it's also like you see these ridges. Like I think higher velocity would like smooth it out a little. Ooh. Oh, you can also see a preview. Yeah, okay. So it's probably just because it was thin, it doesn't show very well, but it'll be darker here, a little faded here, similar to like pressure style. And pressure dynamics, if I turn the flow up and size, yeah, it's pretty similar. Okay. These brushes are probably super fun to paint with. Yeah, that's, like, it feels so smooth because it's a computer, but, like, that's so fun. And then there are different kinds of erasers. The same settings apply. Yep, similar brushes too. You could get, oh, wait. Okay, give me, is this the hard round? I want to demonstrate like some of the eraser textures because that's a really good thing to use to get texture. Yeah, just give me the hard round, but can I make him bigger? It might just be this. Yeah, there he is. Okay. Bon appetit. Okay. Give me the textures, please. Okay, gritty square is what I was looking for. Yeah. Yeah. See, so if I wanted, I can't think of an example, but any art project where you are looking for texture, in like Photoshop, if you're a Photoshop painter, you would have to download a bunch of different brushes and play with stuff like this. But here, there's a lot of really good textures already here that aren't necessarily already pre-downloaded into Photoshop because Photoshop primarily is used for photo editing, but people also use it for painting and stuff. But this is 100% for the digital painting. So you can get different textures here, and if I click harder, it actually, I didn't think a mouse had pressure dynamics, but if I'm like clicking more, it like is doing this harder pressure. And if I click, maybe it's the speed. Yeah, speed. Okay. So if I go lightly, it does that light thing, but if I go, it's doing it super harshly. That is super fun. I would like to show off some more of these. Rubber sounds fun. See, look at that. Look how layered that is. Like that, this adds a lot of depth. And then the brushes obviously have the same or similar texture options and stuff, especially with the live paint with the oils and the watercolors. These have a lot of potential to be very useful in creative processing. And just any sort of projects that you might come across, these are really, really, really helpful. My favorite thing with making artistic things in Adobe programs is kind of how sculpting works, where you don't necessarily go into a sculpture with 100% of the shape in mind. You are like chiseling away, and you like the medium has a little bit more of a say than like a mode where you're adding materials on. In sculpture, you're taking away. In this, it's like I look at the tools that I have at my disposal and I utilize them the way that they're supposed to be utilized, and that helps me develop like my creative style a lot better. So if you take anything away from this video, it would be that. Play with tools and see what you have. This is a smudge, has similar brush typing. I want to smudge like a ton just to show it off. Yeah. You see how like when you increase that, there's sort of gapping between. It's a little bit hard to see on this color, but there's gapping between each stroke. Now if we do less smudge basing, you can also see it in the preview here. Like this is a good blender, which is like the #1 thing that I think holds me back when I do things in Illustrator. And they do have blur tools and stuff in Illustrator, but I'm just not super adept to them. But this is very intuitive, and it's smudging really, really well. And it's amazing how, like, this program can make things so realistic because that's its only goal. And that's, like, the #1 strength of Adobe Fresco, where Photoshop and Illustrator are lacking. You have to have a lot of skill and a lot of experience to get that realism in Photoshop, whereas these smudging and these like textures, and especially the live brush with the oil paint stuff, like, okay, that's not a great example, but the first one especially is like you're not gonna get this realism in Photoshop unless you take like hours and hours and hours. But here, it's like almost immediate. Obviously, you need your practice and skill to make like the Mona Lisa in here, but you know what I'm saying. It's a lot easier. And then this is just a move and transform. Move the whole layer. Scrunch it. Come on. Scrunch, scrunch. Wee, wee, wee. Yeah, you get it. Like, these are not unfamiliar to you. And you can also do, like, super simple nudging. Okay, that's not super visible because it's huge. But yeah, you can see it's, like, slightly moving to the right when I do that. Yeah. That's also in Adobe Creative Cloud Express. If you're making like quick Instagram stuff, that's a good mobile app. For that, it also has a desktop. It's super easy to use as well, and I have tutorials on that. I think I just made an Instagram post and a web page. I have those tutorials up, I'm pretty sure. And then this is your selection. We have the lasso, I think it's magnetic. Lasso selection, brush selection, similar to your quick selection, but not as guided. It's a little more free. And then rectangle and circle, obviously. But yeah, let's see if this is magnetized or not. Okay, so it's not. So I guess I just do a circle. That's awesome. And then that's your selection. Okay, and then Control D deselects. If you didn't know, same as Photoshop, a lot of keystroke shortcuts transfer over. Oh yeah, this works like very, very similarly to the quick selection tool in Photoshop. And then square is just what you'd expect. It makes the square. And then obvi circle. Okay. Control D. Fill bucket obviously fills colors. I want that guy. What the fuck? Oh, duh. LMAO. Okay. And then this fills. Ooh. Move the slider up or down to increase or decrease the range of colors being filled. Thanks, buddy. I feel like my sim just leveled up in a skill and it told me told me what's new. Ah, so that's kind of like a bleed effect. So if I only wanted like a tiny section, I could shrink it. Or if I wanted like a whole page. That is interesting. Learn something new every day, even if you're a swag master like me. Anyways, fill settings, preserve transparency. What happens if I turn it off? Nothing. Thanks. Ooh. I'm a fool. Anyways, that looks really cool. Go back on. This is my favorite part of this job, probably. Just messing around and showing off different stuff. Shapes. A leaf. Looking for basic shapes? Long press the ruler icon to trace or fill circles, squares, or polygons. Thanks, dude. Leaf. For you. Oh, I haven't turned off masking yet. Wow. I like that. That's nice. Reveal or hide. So if you don't know what masking is, it's a big thing in Photoshop and Illustrator for cutting things off, or like, I know the first thing I learned to do with it was to give texture and like multiple colors to like text, things like that. But you basically put like a rectangle of color over something and then mask it, and then the like shape underneath comes through in that color pattern, texture, whatever you put on top. So that's what just happened here. And if I reveal, then like that's the setting that's on now. And then if I hide, boop, it goes backwards. So we're just gonna leave that one. Hit enter. No, okay. I was trying to get the boundary box off. Eyedropper, obviously, typical thing. Images, camera, files, libraries. Okay, we're not going through my whole camera roll, but that's for importing. Images, I think color chip. Ah, yes, Avi. It looked like the touch button, which I could show. I turned it off because it was annoying me and I don't remember how to fix it. Mask properties, mask density. Ah, I forgot about comments. I should have clipped that. Let me out. Okay. Yeah. Adobe has recently added a like sharing feature to a lot of things, like similar to how like Google Doc works, where you can like share it and then like it updates automatically to their copy like once you do it. Eyeball movement. Oh, appearances is really helpful in Photoshop. I wonder if it works the same. Yeah, oh, that looks really good. Okay, contrast. Yeah. If you ever want to tweak stuff, appearances, totally a great way to do things. Probably isn't the best object to show this stuff off on. because normally these will look like jarringly different, and it's really fun to look at everything. I like this one. Okay, and then opacities, obviously, the transparency. Wait. Yeah, that's really fun. Okay, what other appearances were there? Brightness, hue, saturation. Look how fun that is. Look how fun that is. Oh, my mouse is bugging. Okay. Alright. I think I went over most things. I'll do text real quick because that's a big thing that people use quite often. So you just click on that and then I just left clicked and the text box came up. What do I want to say? Folks. That didn't work. I think I have to double click. My bad, my bad, my bad. Oh, it's in white. Ah. Okay. Where did the box go? Come back, dude. Okay. Yeah, so in this panel you'll just switch blend modes, opacity, fonts and things, depending on all of that. I don't see color though. Is it this? Is it the same as like normal stuff? Yeah. Okay. Bugs. And then blend modes are the same. It's not gonna do that much because there's not much on it. And then obviously opacity. Text. I want to see if, oh, it's where to put, okay, it does. Any text that you have, or fonts downloaded will show up here, because I have this one downloaded. Yeah. That is good to know, and then also, like, your light, regular, medium, all that. Not every font has all these variations. Oh, pro tip, insider scoop. Whenever you're doing, like, tables or, titles, subtitles, body text, like right next to each other, and you want bigger contrast, skip a thickness. So if I have bold as my title and I have a subtitle underneath it, I would want to use regular and not medium because it adds extra depth to it. But yeah, that is all the major tools, and then a little bit of extra spice over here. So I think that is everything I wanted to go over today. I would like to, yeah, there we go. I always forget how to save in Fresco because there's no like file tab. But you just click this bottom arrow and hit save now, and then it'll save to your cloud is your like first, like the default setting that it'll save to. Awesome. Thank you.